Thank you very much. Furthermore, I will finally hold accountable all of the failed leaders and television generals who gave us Joe Biden's catastrophe in Afghanistan 2 years ago this month. In my opinion, I watched a lot of the parents. I spoke to many of those parents. I called them when it happened. What a horrible thing, and what they've gone through. There was no way that was going to happen. We were going out, but we were going to get out with strength, with dignity. What they did when they took the soldiers out first. No, you take the soldiers out last. You take them out last. We went 18 months without one soldier being killed. I spoke to the head of the Taliban. I said, don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it, Abdul. Same man who's still running it. But when you think of that horrible event, leaving untold numbers of Americans behind, 13 dead warriors, 35 horrifically wounded, nobody talks about them, but horrifically wounded warriors, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment on the planet, bought by me. We rebuilt the military. I rebuilt the entire U.S. military. A lot of that equipment was brand new, bought by me. It was the single most embarrassing day in the history of our country, in my opinion. I think it was, and I think it probably was what led Putin to say, this is the time. That country has had it. Because I guarantee you one thing, Putin was not going in with me, and neither was she going in China into Taiwan. But Putin was not going into Ukraine. And we talked about it, too. And I got along with them great. They hate to hear, you got along with them. Yeah, it's always nice to get along. And, nobody was rougher. Look, I ended the pipeline. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2, right, Brian? Nobody heard of Nord Stream 2. I said Nord Stream 2, nobody knew. That's a pipeline going to Germany and taking care of all of Europe. I ended it. It was dead. And then Biden approved it his first week. So what's going on there? Under my leadership, we were leaving Afghanistan with dignity and strength, and we would not, under any circumstances, what that was surrender and humiliation. That's what it was. I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And we had it so solid. They weren't shooting at us. They knew better because they knew they were going to get absolutely decimated if they did. When I returned to the White House, we will restore peace through strength. That's what we had. We had peace through strength. I'm the only president in many, many decades, like 8 decades, like many, many years, that didn't have any wars. We got out of wars, and we won wars. We beat ISIS. We won wars. But we got out of wars, and everybody respected us. 3 years ago, we were very respected. We were very respected. They didn't play games. Nobody played games, including trade, where we get screwed by everybody. We made great trade deals, even with China. They buy $50 billion a year because of what I did for our farmers and everybody else. And we were respected, and they didn't play games. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars through tariffs on China. No other president took in 10 cents. Hundreds of billions of dollars. They were not too fond of me, but I got along with President Xi also. We gave, I just looked today. I just said, look it up. I was in the plane coming up. I say, look it up. What do we give Afghanistan? Does anybody have that note? I think I gave it to Corey. We give Afghanistan now billions of dollars. I said, I didn't know that. Billions of dollars in aid. A number that is so astronomical, and this goes on a yearly basis, and they need it for humanitarian and all of that. That's good. But let them give us back our equipment. They ought to give us back some of our equipment. We're giving them $2.7 billion and $3 billion and $2 billion. I thought it would say maybe nothing, or maybe $100 million, or maybe something little. But the numbers are astronomical, what we give to Afghanistan. So that should be a condition of the continued aid. I mean, I don't want to hurt people, but they took $85 billion worth. They didn't take, we left because we were fools. We were stupid. We were stupid. I remember a certain general saying, sir, it's cheaper to leave the equipment behind, sir, because we were going to get out. But I would have kept Bagram, because Bagram is one of the biggest air bases in the world. Bagram cost us billions of dollars to build many years ago. And Bagram is 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear, forget Afghanistan, where China makes their nuclear weapons. It's in Afghanistan.